He's essentially one of the toughest experienced mountaineer and a rock climber you are likely to meet to provide informative insights on your everyday hill routes, including climbing small mountains as seriously as your expedition to Mount Everest. His 24 years of experience is certified by the Basic Advanced Search and Rescue Method of Instruction, Liaison Officer, Alpine Climbing, Trek Leaders Course, Teach the Trainers. In the IT world, we call it as Train the Trainer courses. And all these from the prestigious National Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. A certified national judge for sports climbing from Indian Mountaineering Foundation, not to mention a basic skiing course and also a disaster management course. Having climbed some of the most interesting and dangerous mountains in the world, he was awarded Best Mountaineer in 2005 by Girimitra Sammelan. Shripad Sapkal was selected for an international climbing camp held in the UK and holds a record of first ascent for three peaks in India. As an insider to the world of adventure and a storehouse of information of gear and locations to use it, he is central to your experience at Step In Adventure. Let us discuss some adventure stuff with Shripad in today's episode. Hello, hi there. Welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. The Guiding Voice for a better future. This podcast is to help professional students, IT employees, and entrepreneurs to shape their careers. Dear listeners, in every episode, we interact with industry experts or thought leaders or academicians or coaches across the globe to drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn great things. Also, we share an interesting trivia or a fun fact about the IT world or technology towards the end. So stay tuned till the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Naveensamala and I'll be your solo host for today. Folks, today we are going to discuss a topic which is very interesting and in fact adventurous as well. And the topic is how adventures can help in confidence building. And we are extremely pleased to welcome Shripad to our show. Shripad, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
So, Shripad, can we get started?
Yes, absolutely, we can.
Wonderful. I loved your energy level, Shripad. So, Shripad, can we talk a bit about your career background? What motivated you to choose adventure as a full-time career, which is something adventurous in its own?
Well, it began long back when I was a small kid. I used to go out with my father for local Sahyadri hikes. So that's how it began. In 1996, I've done my first Himalayan mountaineering course in Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. So since then, I have decided that I will be doing whatever I'm going to do. I'll be doing it only in mountaineering or adventure sports. So that was like decided from the beginning. So my father being into adventure sports and he used to go out for treks. So that's how it began basically. And since after that, I never looked back. I mean, it just went on and I am here today. Even if after 24, 25 years. So basically, I would say my hobby turned into my profession. I think it's nothing like it that way.
That's great, actually. Like, in fact, very few people get an opportunity to convert their hobby or passion into profession, and you are one among the lucky few. And interesting to see that whatever you have caught in childhood, it is still there with you and it has become a part of your life. Wonderful. And now, talking about today's topic, right? How does this adventure sports help in confidence building? Like I'll tell my own experience. I have done rappelling in an area, okay, which is on the outskirts of Hyderabad, and I was literally too scared. But after that, after doing that rappelling once, and I think it was just a 60 feet or 80 feet rock, if I remember correctly. Once I was on the top of that rock, I was damn scared to get down. And how you managed scaling or climbing three peaks, and how does it help in confidence building?
Well, first of all, I would like to tell you that everyone goes through this situation because you are not used to this kind of a situation. Especially nowadays, the kids are very much, they are not outdoor types. They don't want to go out and play in the outdoors. They are most of the times, they are stick to their mobile phones and all that. So that confidence building, unless and until you don't go out and explore something difficult or adventurous, you will not go out of that phobia. It is basically a phobia and nothing else. So we take people out for treks or adventure activities, or let's say for rappelling activity. We have to literally tell them that this is the only step that you have to take, and after that you will start enjoying what you're doing. So it is all about making them realize that this is how you build your confidence. That is the difference. So we work with a lot of schools where the teachers ask us that these kids are not used to go in the outdoors. I mean, how will you manage them? So we tell them that we have to give, unless and until we don't give them that exposure, because they have never stayed in their life in a tent in a jungle. So we start with that fact that they have to go out in the jungle, pitch their own tent, stay in a sleeping bag, and then they will realize the fun of outdoors. So this is all about exploring yourself and going further. It is all about confidence building, and that is how this is the best medium to build your confidence in the outdoors. We also take people out for outbound training programs, team building activities. So there is a big difference why we take them in the outdoors and do adventure activities with them, because unless and until they don't get to do these activities in person, there's something called as experiential learning. Unless and until you don't do that particular activity physically, you won't get that experience. So it's the same thing.
Great. I think it resonates with me. Like after, as I said, after I've done my first rappelling, somehow initially I was scared, but after I've done that activity and I started volunteering to do more of those kind and all, right? Because at least it will remove that fear factor on my mind, and I was more confident, to be honest, after that.
Absolutely.
So, Shripad, so people who are really wanting to get into these adventure sports, right? What are few adventure sports that beginners can opt in your opinion? What's your guidance to them?
Right. Well, people nowadays, a lot of IT crowd, I have been seeing them that they go out, do weekend treks, and do a lot of activities. It is really good that they are, exploring themselves. But at the same time, if people want to explore adventure sport as a career, there are a lot of opportunities in the market. Because if you see people going out in abroad doing adventure courses, there are a lot of courses in abroad. Nowadays in India also there are few mountaineering institutes where you can go for your mountaineering courses. So that is the step one basically, because we have seen a lot of people who have started their business career in the adventure industry, but they don't have the technical knowledge of it. So the first important and foremost thing is that you have to do your mountaineering course, that is basic mountaineering course. There are 5 6 mountaineering institutes all over India, recognized by the Indian Mountaineering Foundation. So you can do your course and then get into this option as a career. Before that, you need to have a good experience of trekking in Himalayas, trekking in Sahyadris, or in your local area where you can go for treks. So there are many options open to you. So that is how you should begin with your career in this adventure sports. Then there are a lot of opportunities. People can organize Himalayan treks. People can organize local Sahyadri trek. People can organize a rock climbing expedition. People can organize a waterfall rappelling activity. So there is a tremendous scope in adventure industry.
Hmm.
And nowadays people have started exploring jungle camps or outdoor adventure camps. People have also started exploring the new business ideas of having a adventure park. So there are a lot of options available.
Yeah. So you're saying that it is better to opt for this mountaineering course so that they can learn the nuances of what's in it, and probably pick some local options. Like Sayadri Hills is located in the Pune, right, in the surroundings of Pune, and likewise, in case if someone has or something nearby, maybe they can start with local stuff and then enroll for course and then go for the bigger ones, right?
Yes, that is how it should be, because to being a IT profession, you have to go through there are different courses. So it is the same thing.
Okay.
You have to take the experience, go through a lot of courses, and then you start your business. But outdoor industry has a very big potential in India.
Hmm.
There is a huge demand in the market.
Great. Now, talking from the customer standpoint, say I want to opt for a adventure club, right? and there are so many adventure clubs. In case if I Google for number of results mushroom, so how do I choose the adventure club? What should we focus on before going on a trip by myself?
Well, every city has its own charm, basically, I would say. Now, if you come to Pune, for example, we have more than 150 registered clubs in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a variety of clubs to choose. So basically, what we recommend to people is that people who are really from the outdoor background, you give them first preference, because they are the people who take care of your safety. People, when you go out for a trek, let's say if you're going for a monsoon trek, so there's a lot of possibility that you might get, some, experience where you're stuck somewhere. So you need to have right people with you guiding you for the trek. So you need to see that first, how they are, competent you taking out you. That is number one. Number two, whether they are carrying their first aid kit or not. Number three, the kind of experts there who are coming with you for the trek. Are they certified trainer? Are they having done any mountaineering courses? So you need to, check these points first before you go. Otherwise, there are a lot of clubs who doesn't have this kind of experience, and then you end up having a bad day.
Yeah, yeah, I think it makes sense. Probably we need to look at the background and also how familiar and competent these people are. Yeah, thank you for sharing those insights. And now talking about the equipment that is used, because equipment, harnesses, and all those stuff play a very vital role in the overall adventure experience, right? So, any specific pointers on the equipment? What kind of equipment should people opt for?
Well, yes, there are many points, because what happens, there are two kind of people in this industry. People who take people out for treks at a very cheaper cost, but people don't realize that they are using very local quality stuff when they are doing any activity. And you'll also find people who are really charging good amount, but at the same time they are really giving you good experience in the outdoors. So these are very two major factors. Now, there's a particular thing called as UI certification. Now, people who take you out for any adventure activity, when I say adventure activity, let's say for example rappelling or rock climbing activity outing, so when they are using your mountaineering climbing harness or carabiners or climbing ropes, they should not be locally made. It has to be certified. There's a particular certification comes for that. People check about UI certification, United International Alpine Association. There's a certification to it. So you can see every product, there's a certification. So you can cross check that whether they're using a right product or not. So these are very important factors when it comes to choosing your mountaineering or climbing equipment.
So it's more about the certified equipment, and probably as a certified equipment is bought by these people, then the cost can go up. So never look at the money. That is what is my key takeaway, right?
Absolutely.
So wonderful. And when it comes to this trend, right, we see a lot of youngsters and a lot of IT fraternity, especially, right? They are going on these adventure sports and all, right? So what is your advice to them in terms of do's and don'ts?
Well, basically, we get a lot of IT crowd in our store, in our own store, that they come on the weekend and they want to have their own tent. They want to have their own sleeping bag. They might use it for once, but they want to have it. Like, that's the kind of trend that we are having. But I have seen this, especially in the young crowd nowadays, that they go out in the jungle. They don't realize, they start smoking, they start drinking. So these are the few points, especially I would really want to put it forward through your podcast. When you're in the outdoors, try and avoid these things, because you're going out to enjoy the nature. So that is one of the don'ts that you should follow. In do's, yes, of course there are a lot of points. When you go out for a trek, start wearing a good quality trekking shoes, so that you don't get any problem while walking. Stay in tents. Don't try and avoid staying in the outdoors, because a lot of people staying out in the jungle. And especially in Maharashtra, if you come to Maharashtra for Sahyadri hikes, better to carry a tent when you go out for a trek. So likewise, there are many other things that you should follow and not to follow, but these are the major factors that you must follow.
Okay. Yeah, great. I think these are some wonderful do's and don'ts. Shripad, can we talk briefly about your step in adventures? What do you guys do?
Well, Step in Adventure began in 2013. Before that, also, I was a part of a different shop. But when we started Step in Adventure, we started as a mountaineering equipment store. And then we slowly started doing adventure activities under Step in Adventure. We are also one of the leading company who built climbing walls all over India. So that is our main forte. We also give technical training to army, police, and government officials. So that is also a kind of work that we are into. So that is the main background of Step in Adventure. When we began, we were only two people. Now we have more than 20 people working with us full time and doing a lot of adventure activities. We have people from IT background, by the way.
Wow.
People who are absolutely fed up with their regular routine job and they want to explore something in the adventure field. Those kind of people also we have in the office.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, I've read some of the profiles actually. Like after this 10 to 15 years of work in IT industry, right? They get used to this midlife crisis and all, and now they look for it. Okay, where do I go? Where do I go? No wonder, like adventure is something definitely a good destination to choose, right? Because every trip will be different, and you get to interact with many people all over the time and all. Shripa, this has been fabulous conversation so far, and let's add some spice to the episode by ask. I would like to ask you a few interesting rapid fire questions, and maybe you can answer them very crisply. If you are okay, we'll get
Yeah,
started. Wonderful. So, question to an adventurous guy who owns and runs the adventurous firm. What is the most adventurous thing that you have done so far?
oh my god. Well, I've done many climbs in Indian Himalayas, also abroad. But I would say my most memorable climb was in the Eastern Karakoram, which is close to Pakistan, India, and China border.
Uh-huh.
And that was a 90 days expedition.
Mhm.
And we climbed total 5 peaks, out of which 4 peaks were not climbed by anyone. We were the
Mhm.
first people in the world to climb those peaks, and that experience was just amazing. I took a bath after 60 days. You won't believe that.
My
It was
God.
really a hard expedition. It was a combined expedition with Indo-American team,
Mhm.
and I would say that was my most memorable experience so far.
Wow. Wonderful. Now comes my next one. What is your favorite failure?
Well, first of all, I would like to tell you that mountaineers or adventure people doesn't like failures. So, if I have to do something, I will do it anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that failure word is absolutely cross in my dictionary.
Interesting. Yeah. Very inspiring, in fact. So, Shripad, what is a hidden talent that no one knows about you, which you would like to disclose with the TGV audience?
Well, I can sing really well
Wow.
because when you are in the outdoors, you don't have to do, you don't have anything to do
Right.
basically. Your cell phones are aside. Most of the time in the evenings when you are tired and when you are sitting in the campsite in front of the campfire, people don't have anything to do but they can sing.
Yeah.
So singing is something I really like and enjoy.
Okay. Great. So, here comes my next question out of the rapid fire. What has been a question on your mind, okay, which was never answered so far?
There is no question as such, but yeah, since I've been doing mountaineering for a long time, we have a lot of kids coming in for our treks and for our activities. So they keep asking, small stupid questions that, what is this, why are you doing this, you're not getting paid and you're still doing trekking and all that. So we have to answer those stupid questions, but it is a good enjoyment when you're interacting with them.
Interesting, Shripad. Shripad, last one for the rapid fire. What is one message that you would give to younger Shripad?
Well, start exploring adventure field. Start going out because people, especially youngsters, cannot live with their mobile phones. Should start going out because your mobile phone is completely a addiction to you. At least spend 1 hour every day. Start going to a small mountain around your city, and I think that is the main important point that I'd like to share with youngsters.
Okay, wonderful. So, going back to the mainstream after a fabulous rapid fire round, what will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers or pursue their hobby as a profession like you?
I don't really like to give advices, but as I mentioned earlier, that before entering into a field like adventure sports, you must have a good experience of going in the outdoors, and you must do your mountaineering courses, without which you should never start a adventure company, because it is directly connected with a person's life. So adventure field is really amazing to be in the outdoors, but at the same time your safety is very important. So without safety and without proper experience in mountaineering courses, never try your hands in adventure sports.
Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights on this wonderful topic, how adventures help in confidence building. And definitely, I can two key takeaways like if you are a mountaineer or a rock climber, you will never have the word of failure and you have the confidence of conquering the world. Those are my major key takeaways. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure hosting you, Shripad. All right, so it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And folks, today's trivia is about reading. And do you know people read 10% slower from a screen than from a paper? That's why paper is something which is always very, very popular and at the same time most preferred mode of reading for avid readers. Interesting, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Take care. Be safe. Until next time, bye bye. We are signing off for today. See you all in the next episode with another wonderful guest.